Did you guys hear me? I think it was connected to the wrong microphone, but it should be the correct one this time. For real this time. For real this time. I need to change this one. Okay, there you go. Oh, the music is so loud. Change music, change music. Ooh, I discovered something else. This is cool. Wait. Focus. Wait, is that too low? Wait, why did the music stop? What did I do? Well, I'm gonna leave it here. I've no idea what happened. But okay. Ooh, perfect. Okay, well, I have no introduction. My introduction to this video is of me like, oh, panicking about the technology because it's not working, or I have no idea what I'm doing. Okay, so we are ready to get started. I think I have everything on my ready, so we are just gonna get started. So wait, I forgot what the title of this video is. No. How do I find out? What if I open a new tab and look over here? Wait. There's no title. Okay, I forgot the title of this thing. But the important part is that we have two special guests today. One I have met and collabed with before, so they might be familiar to you. One is brand new to all of us. And we are going to be talking about kindness and just essentially geeking out, and me secretly trying to learn how to become a better streamer because I am not doing such a good job, I think. There's so much technology involved, and my brain just kind of like zones out every time technology is involved. But we are ready to go, I think. Just give me 1 second. Okay, no, it's here. I am. Wait. No, we're not ready to go. There should be a way. Okay, we are ready to go. All right, so we have two special guests that are joining us from the vKind group. And they're going to tell us all about it because I was told about it before and I kind of forgot a little bit. And I don't think I will be doing a great job at explaining it. So I'm going to have them tell us more. So I'm going to have, wait, let me see if I can. Oh, okay. Ooh. I think I found a way to communicate. No. There. I sent a message. There is a way for us to communicate, I think, via text. Let's see if they get it. I'm using StreamYard and I'm still trying to get used to it. So we shall see. Okay, yeah, okay, we're ready. I'm gonna switch it up this way, and I am bringing Rico and Evie. Hello.
Why did I wave at the camera even though y'all can't see me?
Hi. Hello. I do that all the time anyway. So hello. So I was trying to do an introduction, and then I realized I don't actually know very much about the vKind group, which is a huge reason why I wanted to invite you both here. So, how would you introduce vKind to someone who might not be aware of it?
Evie, do you want to start, or do you want me to say something?
Either way goes. I guess the best way to describe it is we're essentially a VTuber group where we're trying to change the industry, as there's a lot of trying to change the industry through kindness, through smiles, through everything.
Okay, so are you doing um like a specific uh thing, like where every month you guys do something special, or everyone who joins the group is required to do a specific something for it?
So, right as of right now, vKind, we're a group of like-minded VTubers that are want to we want to be able to change things, not in just VTuber industry or within our community, but in our IRL communities as well.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're trying to so in the past, when we first debuted as a group, we actually ran a 24-hour stream marathon
Uh-huh.
for the Trevor Project, which I have to say, Evie was our strongest soldier the entire time.
Started with Evie, ends with Evie, as Mew said.
It was quite beautiful. But yeah, our hope is for this upcoming winter, for the holiday season, we can do another charity drive for Toys for Tots.
Mm.
And we're hoping going forward we can do even more in regards to actually becoming a professional group within the industry, and hopefully we can have more outreach, because the more outreach, the more reach, and more um, the more recognizable our name would be, the more we can. We're hoping we can do some more good for our communities.
Well, that is exactly kind of why I created Psychology for Geeks. So this is great. I think at one point I described it to a few friends of mine where I wanted to build a community that was very supportive and sort of good. And I was like kind of like a cult, but for good though. Like nothing bad, but like a good kind of cult,
Cult,
like to
cult,
spread
cult,
kindness.
cult,
Yeah.
cult, cult,
It's like
cult,
yeah,
cult.
cult for kindness. Like we could do that. That'd be awesome. So I totally understand that need to create spaces where it's there's a lot more inclusion, a lot more kindness, because we don't tend to see that very often, I think, IRL,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately. One of the things that I often have to remind my clients of is that when we are working on sort of like our self improvement, we're going to start noticing that everyone else isn't.
Well, when you say
Um,
clients, I'm not sure if Evie has been fully introduced to you, Doc.
no, because I didn't introduce anybody. I was just like, let's talk about kindness.
Okay.
So let me backtrack a little bit. Thank you, Rico, for for keeping me on track. So I am a therapist as my real job, and I am now the CEO of Psychology for Geeks, which is a nonprofit organization. We blend hobbies and mental health. So I did say earlier before I brought you both in that I had done a collab with Rico before, but I hadn't had a chance to meet you before. So would you like
Mm-hmm.
to introduce yourself before I
Yeah.
just start sidetracking about something else?
Oh, no worries. You're okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Evie Askal. I am your little witch mutt. And I said witch. I wanted to put that out there with the W before it sounded bad.
With the hard W.
With the hard W. I should put that out there. I realize that that probably could be taken out of context if someone didn't hear it right. um, Basically about me, IRL. I do also work within the um
Okay.
healthcare system. I do work specifically with mental health clinicians.
Oh, okay.
I am more administrative work though, so I'm not clinical. So I should put that out there.
Right,
Hey,
but
you
you're the
officially
one that
got your
keeps us alive.
Mhm.
yeah, no, that's true. We wouldn't it'd be very hard to do our jobs without you, Evie.
Yes, yes. Because I forget to introduce myself and I often forget to, do stuff that's supposed to be turned in, like paperwork and whatnot. So I really do appreciate people who have a passion and a talent for organizing and keeping me on track. Because my ADHD brain is like, nah, that's boring. Let's do something else that's more interesting.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
mean,
we
you
do really.
finally got your own pair of scrubs, didn't you, Evie?
I did. It was we were one of our ANRPs essentially won like the employee of the month thing, so we were pranking him by dressing up like him. So the nurses were giving out scrubs to everyone that wanted to be involved.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so Rico, in case nobody else saw the collab, which it's still available on our YouTube, so you can go ahead and do that after the stream. But just for now, want to introduce yourself?
Of course. I'm Rico Siempre, RN. I am a VTuber, RN educator, and an in real life nurse. I teach nursing and healthcare education on a variety of platforms, whether it be on YouTube, with scripted content, on Twitch, with live podcasts or interviews. And I also do it on Irium, a mobile VTubing app platform strictly for VTubers. So I use a variety of like platforms in order to bring healthcare education to the VTuber community. It's because unfortunately, when it comes to education in this regard, not
Mhm.
just um, not just healthcare, but education in general. In the VTubing community, it's kind of a desert. So I'd I want to be the change I want to see in my community. So here I am doing what I'm doing.
So I once again I am gonna blame my brother as I should because he's the one that drags me into a bunch of different fandoms and oftentimes is kicking and screaming. And then once I'm there, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. I love it here. And so he was the one that introduced me to VTubers, and now I think it's like such a cool way to connect with other people. And today I was running a booth and it was like over 90 degrees outside and I'm like all sweaty and I hadn't had a chance to like wash my face or anything. So I'm like, right now being a VTuber would have been great because then I didn't really have to care about what I look like. But I really wanted to chat with you guys, so just kind of like pretend that this is my face, which technically this was the VTuber model that I wanted to get. And then I realized there's so much more tech involved than just doing this stream. And I was like, I don't think I can do that consistently. So this is the face everybody gets to see.
It's
But
never
okay,
too late, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's never too late. Join us. Join us in the pool.
the technology is
One of us.
improving like really fast, and then so essentially what I'm doing, nobody tell my brother, but I am encouraging him to learn all the technology so then he can set it up for me. And all I have to do is click go live.
Doc,
That will be
you gotta,
awesome.
Doc, you gotta learn how to do it yourself too. That's not how this works.
But he
What if your brother's not there?
well, see, that is part of the problem because he does have a life and a job, and I'm like, every now and then I think, and I was like, well, okay, what if I hired him? Can I do that? Like, am I able to afford to hire my brother so he can just do all the tech for me? Not yet is the answer. But I'm hoping to eventually get there. uh yeah, so when I first started VTubers, it just sort of became a thing of like, oh, I like this one, and then they did a collab with someone else, so I like them and I follow them, right? And so then that's how I started sort of like knowing, growing my knowledge and about that. And then the more, I think it's been maybe close to 2 years now since I was first introduced to the VTuber world. And obviously I talk to my brother and we watch all the same people, so we're like, yeah, this is great, this is so much fun. And then I try to talk to other people outside of like our group, and then everyone's like, what are you talking about? What are streamers? Because I talk to my supervisor sometimes, and I say something about like, you know what is really great actually for our clients if they're not able to, like, this is an option. And then they're like, wait, what are you talking about? And I'm like, I forget other people don't know about this, because it's sort of like a, okay, there's a lot of people that are YouTubers.
Mhm.
There is a few people that are streamers. And then about an eighth of that group is like VTubers. So it's like a niche within a niche within a niche within a niche. So you really have to uh, sort of like know your people, because even in like anime conventions that I will go to, I couldn't find any merch of like my favorite VTubers. And I'm like, how can I not find like merch? But yet these people are averaging like between 10 and like 15,000 viewers at a time. And I'm like, where are all these people? Like, where can I find them? Because I want to geek
Well,
out about things. Wait.
actually, that sounds like an amazing icebreaker. What are your favorite VTubers? Who are your favorite
Mhm.
ones?
Okay, so my brother introduced me to Iron Mouse because she was
Mm,
female and she was Latina, just like I am. And he said like, she's funny, you'll like her. And then I was introduced to like a whole entire community after that, essentially like everyone she talks to, essentially. And then my brother was like, oh yeah, so I'm watching this other person and then this other person. And I don't watch movies or shows anymore, I just like watch streamers. but then the
sounds
problem
about
is
right.
but then the problem is that a lot of them kind of stream at the same time, or they have really long streams, and I'm like, wait, but I'm watching this one, I'm having so much fun, but I also want to watch this, what's happening over here. So then I go
Yeah,
on YouTube and watch their VODs. And yeah, so I don't have time to watch anything else
yeah,
these people.
Evie, you happen to be on this on the same time as Sensei and Belkis and all of our other friends. I was like, I was putting on like 7 different tabs to watch all everyone.
In my defense, I usually stream late at night.
That's
I
fair.
just want to put that out there.
That's fair.
So that was my introduction to like VTubers, right? And then after that, of course, I'm always, because I can't stop thinking about like psychology or like mental health. So I'm always like, wait, how is this like a good thing? Because so something that you might be familiar with is uh oh, and now I forgot the term, so might not be as familiar as I thought. It's parasocial. That that term is
Mm.
gets thrown around quite a bit. I think
Yes.
especially with VTubers, um, because you don't necessarily look like your model, and there's like a lore, and a lot of them have like a very specific role that they have chosen to uh, portray when they stream, which is more sort of like a character that they're playing. And then so everyone has, it allows for people to sort of like fill in the blanks. And because we watch, these streamers for, 8 to like 12 hours, sometimes in streams, we remember a lot of things. There's a lot of connection that we feel with them. But like I said, like these streamers average, well, at least the ones that I watch, like 2,000 to like 15,000 streamers, depending on what they're doing or whatever. And it's impossible for them to know everyone in that community. So there is sort of like this idea that the viewers get at- too attached, almost like in a toxic way, to the streamer. um Wait. Oh, there's so much going on. There's so many things I want to talk about.
Wait, what?
So somebody just posted a comment which is actually great that I want to talk about. But before that, I want to hear your thoughts on this sort of like idea that people are too parasocial with VTubers.
Too parasocial.
Mm-hmm,
Hmm. Um, Evie, have like, I don't think I've necessarily experienced that, but that's because of the way I approach myself as a VTuber.
mm-hmm.
But I can probably explain a little later. But Evie, has there been any situations that you've encountered about people who are being parasocial?
Not in the I don't know how to word this, so forgive me. I wouldn't say not in like the typical sense. Like I kind of joke around about this a lot with like some friends where it's I don't necessarily have like the parasocial people who like look at me and then like for lack of a better phrase, this is just a joke I have with my friends, is that I don't really have the people that look at me and then they're like, "Oh, that's my girlfriend right there." I have more of like they're a little bit more parasocial in the sense of I've had people be a little too invested in certain things that happen in my life where they're just like, "Ooh, is Evie dating that one person?" That's the extent of the parasocial I get.
But because you just reminded me, like about 2 hours ago, that was me. Because we were listening to it was Iron Mouse, and she was saying like some of the plans that she had for like upcoming streams, and she said something, and I was like, yeah, that one, do that one, I like that one. And my brother just looked at me like, what are you? I was like, it would be cool, I want to see it. But yeah, okay, so yes, the example that you gave, I think it's perfect, because that's usually what people mean when they say parasocial, right? Like that you're my girlfriend now, or like I want to marry you, or like um you're the only one that sort of I like out of all of the other VTubers. I only watch you, or like I think that you're better than everyone else, kind of thing. And it can be, as I think, as with everything, it can be good or it can be bad. The good that can come from it is that, for example, if you are really shy, and you don't really uh, want to, or you struggle really to like make friends in person, it can be a bit easier to do it online, right? um and to share information or like do things, sometimes it's just easier if you don't have this whole IRL thing behind you, right? um and it's quite fun too, I assume, hence why I kind of want to give it a shot. But and you can form really good connections with people, right? And part of what you guys were mentioning before is that you want to create a different sort of community, right? So that's an important thing to note. Sometimes the streamer does have a certain say on the type of community that sort of gets built, right? But you have to have sort of like boundaries for yourself and for other people, and make sure that those boundaries are enforced. Otherwise people can go wild and do all kinds of crazy things that we're like, wait, what's happening, what's going on, we don't want any of that, um kind of thing. So it can be really great, but there's so much negative stigma, I think, just of like streamers in general. I feel like for people who are not familiar with with this fandom. And so that's why I kind of want to like introduce VTubers to like everyone, because it's so cool. And like there's so many different kinds, right? Because everybody does a little bit different, the communities are different. And so you'll find a VTuber for you. You don't have to watch the ones I am watching. Right? But would you say that being a VTuber gives you more flexibility to do the content that you want?
Um, so here's the odd thing with me. Um, Deciding to become an educator in this space,
Mm-hmm.
it really stems from me wanting to be an educator in real life as a nurse. Like I want to
Mm-hmm.
be a nurse educator. Hopefully in future, knock on wood, I would like to teach nursing. I already teach my patients in clinic of their different of their their different things that they face on
Mm-hmm.
the healthcare side of things. And so for me, being a VTuber, it fulfills a lot of things. Like for one, I was already a VTuber fan to begin with,
Mm-hmm.
before becoming one. So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Two, um, I frequently am. I frequently can only stream right after work, and most of the time I'm a hot mess after work. I don't look good. I don't like I and my room my home office is a hot mess half the time.
Mm.
I don't think anyone wants to see that. So hey,
Yeah, my, yeah,
VTuber
but you
problem.
don't look don't look behind
um, but also I also found that I think with having a virtual avatar, it makes interacting easier for a lot of people, and not just in terms of like, oh hey, you're talking to an anime character,
mm-hmm.
but it also helps to break down that barrier of like, oh, it's not to say that we aren't real people, because we're obviously real people behind these avatars, but it helps. I guess it helps bridge that gap between the real and the fiction, if that makes sense. Especially if someone has like, say, they're into they're really they want to play up their lore, they want to play up the
Mm-hmm.
character that created, and by all means, yes. um but all I can say about my lore, and this kind of ties into the whole parasocialism thing, is that I'm literally playing myself after work.
Uh-uh.
Everything you see on me, from my stethoscope to the badge reel to the color of my scrubs, all of this I actually own and wear in real life. And even the hairstyle, I used to have long hair before I chop it off to donate to what was it, to
It's a
for
locks
Wigs for
of something.
Kids.
Oh, okay,
um
that's
yeah. So I actually used to have hair this long, if not longer, in the past. So everything about me you see as a VTuber,
mm-hmm.
what is was basically almost be representative of me. But that's how I approach VTubing. Now, there's going to be a lot of people who are like, say, traditionalists in that sense, where you need to play, this, you need to play that character. You
Exactly, yeah.
need to have these. Um, these the whole idol thing, which kind of almost translates to wrestling kayfabe, if you know what I'm talking about. But in all honesty, VTubing is a medium, and you're allowed to do whatever you want to do with it. There's no set expectations of how you're supposed to be a VTuber. A VTuber can be anything you want it to be. And for me, I think that's what I think is one of the best things about VTubing, is the fact that I can sit here and still talk about healthcare education, about nursing education. At the same time, I can still play video games, sing a bit of karaoke, and have some fun while I'm doing it.
Mm-hmm,
You
mm-hmm,
know,
mm-hmm.
and part of that
Yeah,
is like, I want to be able to showcase, oh hey, you guess what? Working professionals also like to have fun too, but they still
right,
like to
right.
nerd out about their job.
This kind of brings me to the comment that I like geeked out about earlier. So we have someone watching, which is fantastic, just in itself. But they are also a psychologist, and they can't really show their face on camera due to the nature of the clients that they work with. So they stream as a VTuber.
Oh
Right.
yeah.
And that's another thing that we didn't discuss. A lot of people, and it's not only like, social anxiety or, this is just really creative and I really want to try it. Right. But it can be sort of like a safety. I don't like feel very safe, doing this or showing my face, which is fair enough. And this gives you an opportunity to still do the things that you want to do without that being a problem for the most part. And they also mentioned that, which is something that I was thinking as you were talking, like there is sort of like this disconnect almost, but that leads to a stronger connection, because any sort of like bias that we may have by looking at each other, like, IRL, kind
Mhm.
of disappears if we're both VTubers, or if you're VTuber,
Mm.
Oh
right?
yeah.
You're just an anime character now, and I'm not focusing the fact that I don't know, like your glasses keep slipping off your face, or that, maybe you have like that one hair that's coming over here, and being neurodivergent myself. That is a thing that just happens sometimes, like I just hyper focus on certain things, or like we have
Mhm.
judgments of like, well, you look kind of like this way, or like you have, this thing, but
Mhm.
that, but all that sort of disappears because you're fictional, and I know. But even if you're kind of fictional, I still know that you are like a real person,
Mhm.
um be behind that. And I think that's leading uh to stronger, more real connections between people,
Mhm.
because now those things don't really matter. Now, what matters is, do I show up for you when you need it? Am I there? Am I actually like kind? Or, am I a good friend kind of thing, as opposed to like, oh, what are you wearing today? What does it look like you? Or like, oh, now I'm comparing myself to you because the clothes, we might wear the same scrubs, but then the scrubs look better on you than they look on me. And like now I don't really like you anymore. But if you're a VTuber, then, none of that. Well,
Mhm.
I might still be a little bit jealous because I also wanted to be a VTuber, but like that's a different story. That's true. So VTubing now is changed quite a bit from, I guess, where initially was, because as you mentioned, Rico, I think he was more of like an idol sort of thing, and it branched out from that.
Yeah, it very much has its roots in idol culture, because that's how a lot of the 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 major companies, when it became popular, that's how they started the culture in the first place.
Hmm.
And don't get me wrong, like there's a lot of stuff about culture I do enjoy. I like the fact that that you can you get to cheer your favorite your Oshi,
Hmm.
aka your favorite, on whether on stage or at least on VTubing, like on their individual platform. The fact that there's a built up community surrounding that particular person, and then you get to see other people in that same community. Like right now, like I've been like there's one of my Oshis is streaming right now. um and I know some of the folks who in the community,
Hmm.
as well, and we've all gathered together because we all like seeing this one VTuber.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I find that amazing because not only are we quote unquote fanboying or fangirling together, we're also making these connections with each other, and I think that's a
Hmm.
beautiful thing. But at the same time, I also have my criticisms the about what's borrowed from idol culture, because I'm pretty certain, if when it comes to uh, you know not just Japanese or Korean or East Asian idol culture, but I'd
Hmm.
say entertainment industry has a lot of things wrong when it comes to supporting the well-being of the talents. And I mean, we don't need to mention this past year without citing several examples.
Unfortunately, but yes, to all everything that you said. Um, wait, I forgot what I was gonna say. Uh, oh, great, I had a good point. Um, yes, okay, so we being a fan of like a VTuber instantly gives you that connection with people, right?
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like, birds of a feather flock together or whatever, right? So like if you enjoy watching this streamer, it's usually because you really like, their humor or what they talk about or the games that they play. So you have more than one thing in common with a fan of the same streamer, right? So that initially, like, it makes forming a good healthy sort of like bond a lot easier because you kind of skip a lot of steps, right? Because you
Mhm.
already know, oh well, this person might like this and this, and they might be aware of this and this, right?
Right.
So then it just makes it easier for us to connect with other people, which is something that I talk to my um clients quite often. And I'm like, hey, listen, you don't really know, especially because as adults, I think the older that we get, like the harder it is to find true friendships, not only
Mhm.
because our schedules usually don't really align, because everybody's like super busy, or because somebody lives now across the country and we can't see them as often, or because I'm working now on my own sort of like growth and mental health, and other people are not. So now there's this miscommunication of things, or I'm not as comfortable as I used to be because now I notice all the red flags or whatever it is, right? So it's just like
Mhm.
really difficult to make friends. So sometimes I'm like, hey, step one can be just like, join a Discord group or like watch a streamer, and because you feel that connection, right? Like everybody seems to have like a similar reaction when something is happening, and you just see the chat sort of going crazy about whatever is happening on stream, so you can connect with them in that way, which I
Mhm.
think it's a great thing. And now it's, I think B2Vin also offers that in return, right? Because you usually have um the same people that come back, right, consistently,
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
and then you get to know them, and then they say things, or you're they're there, so it becomes like a fun thing. Because every time I stream, I remember how much I like it, because then I can interact with people I normally wouldn't, right?
Right.
Or because all my friends like live really far away, and so I don't always have the possibility of like going to hang out with them. But I can just sort of like do a live stream right now, and people will join, and then I can have a connection with them, because even our IRL friends may not have this or enjoy the same fandoms that we enjoy um either. So I think I'm just so excited about VTubers existing, and more of them sort of like coming up, because it I think it's helpful for the VTuber streamer and for the community, right? As well, if you are making steps to ensure that your community is safe and everybody's sort of like supportive in some way, and nobody's being toxic when there really is no need. But it does make things a little bit easier. And as much as I not that I refuse, it's just I forget how to technology sometimes. But technology has made a lot of things possible, right? Like it has introduced people to other people for a collaboration which would never be possible, like this one. Because I don't
Like
exactly know where you all
right
live,
now.
but you guys like, I couldn't be like, hey, I have like an hour between this time and this time. We wouldn't be able to like do that. So I think it's really is fantastic. And um part of what I'm trying to do with inviting you guys over and telling everyone about VTubers, um and also especially other mental health professionals, because since the not only is the number of VTubers, I feel like, growing, they're becoming more popular to a certain extent, so more people are becoming aware or more comfortable saying that they enjoy watching VTubers or streamers. And that's something that as professionals we need to be aware of, because that's part of like the everyday life of our client, and it's a major part of what they enjoy doing. or not. So I'm like, hey, you at least need to be aware of like the terminology, or aware that this thing exists.
Hmm.
Right. So if somebody comes to you and then they're like, hey, I'm a VTuber and I'm struggling with X, Y, and Z, they're like, oh, wait, what are you talking about? What is this? Right. And immediately there's sort of like a bias or a judgment, and because we're all human, right? So I kind of want to encourage a lot of mental health providers just to at least be aware of how important these streamers who they don't really know us and we don't really know them become to our day-to-day routine, kind of like what I was saying earlier, like since I don't watch anything else but streamers because it's so interesting. And again, it makes it easier and more fun, right, to share information that otherwise people would be like, oh, and you're talking about that one thing again, kind of thing. But now you have a funny little hat on and you're playing a game and you're talking about, health, or going to the doctor and getting a checkup. And okay, that maybe I'm more open to listening to you, right, do certain things. So one of the, because we try to blend sort of like fun content and educational content. Have you found it more difficult to create or to make educational content that people are interested in, or will stay like to watch at least?
That I think that's a better question for you, Rico, because I'm not really an educational
Oh,
streamer.
it's okay. Um, can you rephrase the question? I'm sorry, Doc.
No, it's okay. It's late and it's probably after work for you. um and I also already forgot. So wait, have you found it more difficult to create sort of like educational content that people are interested in?
I think here's the thing. Um, I don't like, as much as I appreciate the feedback and would mind listening to people in my community, from other VTubers, other streamers, other content creators. As much as I appreciate the feedback and what they want to learn, and by all means, I would love to cover any or all topics that they want
Mhm,
to bring forth. Ultimately, I want to create, and ultimately I want to teach, and by and ultimately create the content that I believe in, that I want to, I want to be proud of, that I want to have, um, that I think I can, do justice to.
mhm, mhm,
Um, so let's say, for example, you know, say I conduct a poll on social media and they ask me, "Oh, Rico, can you do a health education thing about art therapy?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't think I'm the right guy to ask." Maybe
mhm,
we can talk to Evie because she's actually an artist. It's stuff like that, to which, um, as much as it's important to listen to your community, people outside your community. Ultimately, you got to do what you believe is best for you, and what
Mhm,
you feel, what you want to do, because otherwise, are you going to be happy doing it? um
mhm, mhm,
like, there's plenty of streamers out there, content creators, YouTubers, or who create content, doing something they had a passion for, they like doing, but they no longer want to engage in because they're burned down on it. And
mhm,
so I think it's important that you do the stuff that gives you inspiration, that what you want to do. Otherwise, if you're just, you know unfortunately, if you play to the algorithm, like a lot of people, like a lot, like some content creators do, to ride the trends, to ride the newest fangled thing, then it's always going to be a losing battle.
mhm.
So I think part of it is, sticking to your guns and doing what makes you happy. Because if you do what makes you happy, other people are going to be attracted to that. because
Mhm.
guess what? They want to share in that. They see that you're super interested in this one thing. Oh man, I want to keep going back to them.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
Like right now, Evie's got a Digimon obsession.
Wait, leave me alone.
No,
Wait, wait.
no, little sister, I'm not.
Oh, thank you, Rico. This is a great segue because I was going to be like, yeah, like part of the reason why I love watching the streamers on the VTubers that I do is because of the way that they talk. Not only do they talk about their own mental health and like the struggles and how they like overcome, but they do try to encourage their community in sort of like more of a positive way, which I really enjoy. Um, it, and the other thing that I enjoy is that you don't. Oh, wait. The other thing I guess I've learned as well is what you were saying, Rico, is that because we see them have so much fun with the content they're creating, it becomes interesting to us, right?
Mhm.
It doesn't feel force
Mhm.
as much. So that being said, Rico plays video games and creates educational content, and now we have learned that Evie loves Digimon. But what kind of content did you create?
I am mostly for streaming content, it's mostly just gaming content.
Hmm. What kind of games?
um Mostly like JRPGs, visual
Mm,
novels. Um I do occasionally, like what Rico said earlier. I did occasionally just like kind of put polls up, like, oh, I've never played this game. Should I try it? Da 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 da.
mm-hmm,
And kind of going back to what Rico said earlier, I do have to agree that I find that like for the audience, like even if they don't know what you're talking about or what you're playing,
mm-hmm.
if they see that you're having fun with it, it kind of attracts more people to you.
Yes, yes. Because I am not really a video game person.
Mhm.
Uh, One, I get sort of motion sickness, and I have a million and one other hobbies. But I like watching streamers collaborate with other streamers and play games. I don't even look at their gameplay. I just listen to what they're saying, and that's what I love. I
Mhm.
love the conversations that they're having. It just sounds very much
Mm.
like a really fun podcast.
No, I
uh,
I do the same thing.
yeah,
I just
and
like the
so
commentary.
yes, exactly. Or like for example, I know there's certain games that I would never really play, but then now I've
Mhm.
become invested in the story, and I would like to watch somebody else play because they're like so much better at it than I am.
No,
Right?
that
So it
me
went
with
like so much
me with
smoother.
horror games. I can't play them myself, but I would rather watch someone else play it.
Come on,
Like,
Ading. Don't you want to? Don't you? Just it's just a little spooping. Spoopy
well,
month is next month. You gotta do a little spooping.
No, I don't like that.
Oh,
I don't like
just a
that
little bit.
Spoopy
I don't
month is
even
my
like
birth month.
watching them like
Just a little
play like
just a
horror
little
games
spooping.
either.
But no, yeah, like as you know, Rico called me out earlier for
Yeah.
um I did want to I bleh, sorry. I didn't want to bring this out because I did notice very recently, and this isn't like to brag or anything, but I did notice that when I kind of shifted my goal into like, oh, there's a new Digimon game coming out, let me see if I can finish the old ones before it comes
Mhm,
out and stuff like that. I did notice a kind of a new, like an influx of new people that have been
oh,
coming to see me.
yes, yes. Um, yes. Again, that's a like a I want to say easier, but a slightly easier way of connecting with people who like the same things that you do, right? I live in a very rural area, and we have about maybe four game slash comic book shops in my area, and they're all more than like half an hour drive, which I don't always want to make, right? But I can easily find someone on like Discord and be like, hey, anybody else is like a fan of this manhwa or like this game or like enjoy this thing, and then they don't answer, and I have to leave my bed, which is the best part, right? Or I can stay inside where the air conditioner exists, and not outside where like the sun is trying to kill me. But that's like so like it makes it a bit more accessible to be able to do that, because even if you were to go to like an event, the amount of passion or love you have for a certain fandom or game or
Mhm.
whatever might not be the same for everyone, right?
Mhm.
Because I realize like sometimes I see people wearing shirts of like my favorite anime or like fandoms or whatever, and I did an event for Psychology for Geeks, and there was someone who was wearing a Hatsune Miku shirt.
Mhm.
I have
Mhm.
never seen any sort of content, but I know now what she looks like because everybody talks about this VTuber. So I was like, "Hey, are you a fan?" And I think I was just so happy to see someone in my community, like within driving distance, that was also a fan of VTubers. That I came on too strong. And then they were like, "Yeah, there's a couple of us." And then she like looked down and didn't talk to me again. And I was like, "Okay, fair." Um,
Doc, it's okay. It's I've noticed, and this is actually something I'm trying to study right now because I did announce this about a week ago or so. Um, but I often make the joke that the Venn diagram between VTubers and neurodivergency is essentially a circle.
yeah.
And you could say apply the same thing when it comes to chronic illness, when it comes to disability, uh, when it comes to a whole lot of things. There's a lot of overlap that we don't have, that we tend to overlook. But I don't. That's part of the reason why I'm trying to do a study about this. With some other VTubers who are also happen to be clinicians, researchers, scientists. It's like, oh,
Oh.
okay, let's get the ball rolling on
Yes,
this.
yes, yes. Let me know
Mhm.
how I can also help.
Oh, I'd love to have you on
If I
board.
can. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So part of I can't say too much because it's a secret still until October,
Well,
hopefully, or
Can't say
until
she signed an NDA.
with myself, because I want to leave it as a surprise, because I think it would be really cool. But yes, I did like the more I did stuff for Psychology for Geeks, the more I realized that everyone who is part of or feels very comfortable with within the geek culture tends to be neurodivergent, um, and a lot of that is because this is a place for a lot of people who have felt marginalized in their IRL life, and they found a community who's like, I don't care what you look like or what you sound like. You love Magic the Gathering, so do I. Let's play, right? And because that's what we care about. Like that's more important than a
Mhm.
lot of other things. So we are doing quite a bit in the next month for the neurodivergent community to help reduce the stigma and to help people feel more comfortable being themselves. Because again, like the more I connect with people, I usually get a lot of people saying, sorry, I can't make eye contact, or sorry, I just repeated that, or sorry this. And I was like, it doesn't matter, who cares, like just play, or whatever it is that we're doing. And I was like, I don't care, I understand, me too.
Mhm.
In fact, but yeah, we don't always have like a safe space to be able to do that. So I wanted to provide that with Psychology for Geeks, and I'm glad that there's other people or there's other groups like you guys that are trying to create communities that are focused on just being kind, doing the bare minimum to to
Yeah.
other people, so we can all have a great time
Mhm.
together.
Uh, I will say I there was also something that I just remembered
Uh-huh.
going back on that. Um, what I do like too about the community is like kind of also just sharing your own experiences with
Hmm.
other people, because then
Oh
some
yeah.
people open up with that. Kind of, going back about what I got called out over. Because I have noticed this a lot, because something I've been telling people in my stream since, like I said, there's been an influx of new people. is that
Mhm.
I didn't grow up in America.
Oh,
I
okay.
grew up in Asia, in the Philippines specifically.
Mhm.
So like when I'm playing the game, because I grew up with Digimon in its like original state, so like the Japanese version and all
It's
of that
pure,
stuff.
unfiltered form.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So when I look at like the names in the game, because it's very much like the American ones, I get a little confused.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. My mind immediately went to like sub or dub preferences. But yeah, that's actually a good point. Now
Yeah, you
you
don't
know
know
like
about
the names, yeah.
Kai, Matt, Sora.
Those that can be a whole different
Oh
video,
my!
because there's so many. I have a lot of questions about names that don't make sense to me, but
Yeah,
there were
I've
some like
seen. Oh, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, I've had like instances where I'm playing the game and I'll call like a character by this name, and then my entire chat will just be like, "Did you mean this one?" I was like, "I'm gonna call them that if I want to call them that. That is what I grew up with."
You're
And
like,
I've
that's their
had
name now.
yeah, and like I had it was actually funny because I did actually have this. I talked about this in my stream from a few hours ago, which is I talked to another friend of mine who was born and raised in America, who had the
Mhm.
dub version of it. And it was just kind of the two of us like comparing notes of
Oh,
like
on like
the
the names.
show and like the names and like certain scenes, because I had like a friend, my friend was like, "Oh, I remember this scene here like in America played out
Mhm.
like this. How did it play out in the original?" And then the way they explained it to me, that I was like, that is not even remotely close.
I think it's so because I come across stories like that sometimes where they're like I've seen people who are like they speak the three different languages and they all say the name of like a Pokemon or whatever, and it's like completely like wildly different, and I'm like, the other one's so much better than the American one that we got, or vice versa. But it,
Mhm.
it's it, it's so they put so much effort into localizing the
Mhm.
content to the extreme where they will like delete certain things so it can still be seen in like in different
Uh-huh.
countries or people can understand it better.
Mhm. I will admit, I the scenes we were comparing though, I was telling them, I was like, actually, I can see why America cut this from the original version.
Wait, was it like not needed or like too
it,
much?
it it was very like looking like I mentioned it earlier on my stream. There's a specific scene that happens in one of the seasons that they play it off as like something like, oh, like happy coincidence, whatever, blah blah blah, right? And then when my friend was explaining it to me, I was like, oh, I actually kind of like your guys' version better. And when they're like,
Hmm,
why? I
hmm.
was like, because the original version is extremely inappropriate
Oh,
Oh,
for
I
oh,
some like
see.
as something that is like, this is
oh no!
definitely something children should not be doing.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
the one that comes to mind, this isn't inappropriate or anything like that, but the one that comes to mind is I think there was a Pokemon. It was in Pokemon where the rice balls, they called it
Hmm.
like a sandwich at one point, and
Like
then
the
everybody was
jelly
like,
Oh,
"What?
donuts.
jelly
Oh,
donuts.
yeah, yeah, there you go."
It wasn't something like obviously they have the obvious ones where like if characters are drinking, then it's like they're gonna pretend it's like soda or something like that.
Oh, they
Yeah.
called it like loopy juice or something in Naruto in the dub.
Yeah.
Called it the loopy fist. Like we all know what it
But
is.
these are like there's some censorship moments where I looked at it, I was like, yeah, 5-year-old me had no business having to witness that.
And I think the other thing too, that not only like being a fan of like the same thing leads to conversations like this, because eventually there is going to be like you saying something different than what I remember, right, or what I saw. um but I think that is another way where we are kind of getting to the root of things, right? Like we're not focused so much on like, hey, are you able to like come and hang out, are you able to do this, because now you're more easily accessible. So now we're concerned with, wait, how do you see the world, how did you experience these things,
Mhm.
what are you talking about, right? Because somebody on our comments said that like censorship is like in, especially in the international community, it's neat because we all see it a little bit different, right? Like depending on like which dubbed and how good it was, right? We got or what we watched. But that also helps us understand that we're the same but also
Mhm.
different,
Yeah. No,
right?
I
Like,
noticed that with like some video games, with like ones that don't have like an English dubbing to it,
uh-huh.
like they're still in their original language. Like I'm not I wouldn't say that I'm fluent in Japanese at all, but I know like enough conversationally
Hmm.
that I've played games where they haven't dubbed it and it's just in the Japanese, like just still in the original Japanese language. And
Hmm.
I'll play it and I've had moments where I'm like with friends and they'll just see me laughing and they'll just be like, "Wait, what's so funny about that?" I was like, "I'm laughing because it's not what they say in the text box is not what the character is actually saying, and
well,
it's actually something different."
but then that kind of like helped me to realize, okay, so again, my brother introduced me to a specific VTuber, but then I was introduced to all of their friends, and
Mhm.
then one of their Iron Master's friends, Connor, does a lot of like charity work, which to be honest, I have stole a lot of ideas from how they do charity because I was like, I need that.
You're gonna bike
um
across the country?
yeah. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do that, but there's some things I got other than that. But there's so much that it kind of leads. So it starts with wait, what do you mean this Pokemon is or Digimon is not named the same, or like this scene in like this anime is different for you, and then it goes to like, oh well, because it has a different meaning in the culture where it was originally from, right? And then you start diving into the culture, and then you start diving into like everything that is sort of part, like the good and the bad that's part of it, because then that led me down the rabbit hole, right? Like I found Connor lives in Japan, he does a lot of like live streams in Japan. I also like met other people that he's collaborated with, and they talk about how there's certain things that we don't really understand because we don't live there, right?
Mhm.
And then
Right.
now again it sort of like opens up the world for us, and we're able to do things that otherwise we wouldn't have been able to ever do if it wasn't for like someone streaming it to us. But
Like I
mhm,
think a good example would be you mentioned Iron Mouse. She's
mm,
shared a lot of she's shared a lot of a lot about her life growing up in Puerto Rico
mhm,
and living in that community and that culture. For me, it's like fairly fascinating because it's like trying to find like you said before, there's a lot of things that are similar, but there's a lot of things that are different. And I'm pretty sure, Doc, you feel the same whenever she talks about her own, because
mhm,
I don't believe you're Puerto Rican, but
mhm,
you're definitely Latina.
mhm,
um, and and having the opportunity to learn about each other through VTubing. Yeah, we're still like funny anime characters, but at the end of the day, we still have our background, we still got our roots, in the environment that we and the families that we grew up with. So I think
mhm.
it's quite amazing that we can share those perspectives.
Yeah, because we ultimately end up talking about what we know, right?
Mhm.
And then so unfortunately Armas has a lot of health problems that she does sometimes talk about, or there is an understanding of like the medical system that maybe most of us wouldn't have had or wouldn't have known what was needed if it wasn't for the charity streams that they do with Connor and things like that, because I would say definitely I was not aware that
Mhm.
there were people in the world that couldn't really leave their house because of a chronic illness that they had. And then the more I watch Iron Mouse, the more they're like, a lot of other people, they're like, hey, me too, I have something different, but me too, I can't really go outside, I can do X, Y, and Z, and this makes me like, being able to be a part of this community makes me so happy, makes me feel seen, right? So again, another reason why everybody should start watching VTubers. Might be biased, but I think it's just a great idea. But again, like we learn so much about each other and what um essentially what is wrong with the world, so then we can try to make it a better place for us, right? Because if we're not even aware of what's happening, we're never going to do anything, right? But
Mhm.
then once we
Yeah.
become of like, oh, that's not fair, like what did they happen to them, or like, oh, we don't want this to be a thing, or I want to be able to help other people, but I don't feel comfortable showing my face or going outside or doing certain things. But then you meet friends who might be willing to do that, or you make friends in collaborations or playing games, and they become an important person in your life, where if you didn't take up to VTubing or watching streamers or uh doing things in a way that is comfortable for you. And I think that's the most important thing about being a VTuber, right? Some people are very comfortable uh being like, oh, here's what my IRL face looks like, and this is my VTuber model over here. And some people are like, no, this is just my VTuber model, and I will never show you otherwise. And
Mhm.
some people don't want to talk about their own personal lives, they don't want to do whatever. And I think that's fair. If they don't feel comfortable with it, and it's not bothering anybody, it's not hurting anybody else, it's great. Like, just you do you, right? And it provides a space for people to be more comfortable with who they are in this sort of like space.
Mhm.
Well, I think
No,
you guys, because you guys have
no,
like
you're
access to both
absolutely
sides.
you are absolutely spot on, um, Doc.
Hmm.
Like, and this is like just as someone who I'm not trans, but I consider myself an ally,
Hmm.
and not just trans, but the LGBTQ community. VTubing has brought up a lot of avenues for for those creators,
Oh,
um,
yes, yes.
to express themselves of who they who they actually are, who they want to be, and I think that's beautiful.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
That is absolutely beautiful.
Yes. And I personally myself do not do research. I like hearing about research. And reading certain parts of the document of the research, but there is some research already where people are looking at cosplay
Mhm.
and gender identity, which is fantastic. And I'm like, now the next step is for there to be more research when it comes to VTubers, because I feel like there's not enough. There's always more that could be done.
You want to research
um
Evie? She's a cosplayer.
I was about to say.
Ooh.
So I do kind of fit in the mold of like, this is my face versus
Wait a
this is my
minute.
model.
Wait a minute.
Hmm.
We're learning so much about Evie, which is great.
Oh yeah, she's part of
Let me
the
take a
cosplayer to
look.
VTuber pipeline. Something about I've also seen happen quite often.
But yes, it is very true. I am cosplayer. So
But what can you imagine? Like, did you think you would have gotten like become a VTuber if you wouldn't have started to cosplay?
I honestly, to be honest, I never actually even thought about it when I first became a cosplayer.
Okay, okay.
I think,
Well, but now looking back,
yeah, looking back at it, I'm like, oh, yeah, the pipeline is real. I did end up on this.
somebody in the chat, they're
Pipeline's
like, "Yep, they're
real.
part of the pipeline as well."
'Cause it's like, what? Well, that's you're a cosplayer, obviously. Well, if you do like anime and manga type of thing, like you
Hmm.
run into VTubers eventually.
Hmm. Hmm.
I
Hmm.
I wasn't originally into them. I think like the most I knew for like the longest time was like Kizuna Ai,
Right,
who was like like considered like the
the
original.
original, yeah.
Yeah. And then I had friends that like got into it, friends that were like cosplaying like different VTubers from different companies and stuff like that. To the point, and then after a while, I was like, wait, actually, this kind of sounds fun. Like, I kind of
Right.
want to try this.
So,
I
that reminds me of an experience that I had about a month, two, wait, I don't know, time is irrelevant. About a month ago, I would say. Um, I hadn't seen the now world famous K-pop Demon Hunters movie,
Mhm.
and
I still
everybody
haven't
was
seen
like,
it.
"Oh yeah, have you seen it? Like, this is something that you enjoy." Blah blah. And I'm like, "Yeah, but streamers though, like, ain't nobody got time." Right. But then I ended up signing up Psychology for Geeks to have a booth at a like a K-pop sort of like pop-up shop, and I was like, it was theme for the movie, and I was like, at least, at the very least, I could watch the movie, because otherwise I
Mhm.
know nothing. I know there's a lot of K-pop fans. I don't know anything about that fandom, right? And then I went and had a blast. And
Mhm.
again, I live in a very rural area where these things don't happen a lot. Geeks and nerds, we don't have a lot of opportunity to come together and hang out.
Mhm.
Like the we do have a few what you call it, conventions. Most of them are anime, uh but they're still relatively small, and sometimes there's not a lot of like seating space, or like it's really hot and you can't really stay there for a long time, right? Which kind of prevents you from like meeting other people and hanging out and geeking out, which is my favorite part. But also my start into, or like my introduction to uh, geek culture, because I was secretly a nerd growing up, and I never really talked to people because I knew people didn't like the same
Mhm.
things that I liked. And then when I found a group of people that were like, we will take you to Comic Con, they took me to the San Diego Comic Con, which is widely different than
Don't tell me
anything
that was your
else.
first one.
Yeah.
Oh
But
my.
what I love is that you're in line for so long, you're chatting with your friend, and then the person is listening, and then sometimes they're like, oh, I'm so sorry, but I am a huge fan of this, and did you know? And then you start a conversation with someone, right? And then you get to geek out, and then you're like, oh my gosh, someone that understands what I'm talking about, right? Uh
That is actually very true.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I've
because
had those.
like, so Loki is my favorite character of all time. I don't know if you noticed. But sometimes when I will talk to people about like my love for Marvel, they were like, "Yeah, sure." And then like my parents were, they're like, "They're all superheroes and it's fake. Why are you going to watch another movie?" And I'm like, "You don't understand. This is about siblings and whatever. It's like more than just superheroes."
It's real
But
to
then
me, damn it.
yeah, but then like when you're like surrounded by people that are like dressed, and then people are so creative. I love going to conventions, and like I just want to go to like Artist Alley and see like how they like gender bend like the characters, or
Mhm.
how they dress them up, or like like there's so much cool stuff that happens, right? And I think this is what happens. This is sort of like the result of you doing something that you really enjoy and showing other people, because then
Mhm.
it almost gives us permission to also do it ourselves,
Mhm.
like, oh, you're having so much fun playing this game and talking about Digimon, maybe I should
Mhm.
also you know play a game, or like talk about Digimon.
You do remind me of when, because very like about like 2 months or so ago, right? Me, Rico, and a few other friends were actually in LA
Yeah, we were
for
at Anime
Anime
Expo together.
Expo.
Oh, I want to go so bad. I was just saying that Offkai is the other one that I want to go to.
Mhm.
But it's usually this year. I kind of have to like pick and choose where I'm going,
Oh yeah,
because I'm doing
absolutely.
so much for the nonprofit. If I didn't have to do that, I would be like going to every single convention. So,
Mhm.
but I guess again, I have been to a lot of conventions, and I just cannot find merch, and I'm like,
Mhm.
where is the merch of my favorite VTubers? And so I'm kind of hoping that Offkai would give me that, because
Mhm.
I've gone to a few anime conventions in not that expo. I still haven't been to that one, but some like in the LA area, I've been to those, and then I found some like Iron Mouse stuff, and I was like, what about the other ones? Like, what about all my other favorite ones? Like, I need stickers for that too,
Mhm.
because I have a collection. So
Mhm.
I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I'm hoping I can
Cool.
find that. So at one point,
Yeah. Oh,
We're gonna get
sorry.
speaking of
Eevee Docky
conventions,
soon, right, Evie?
Huh?
We're gonna get that Eevee Docky soon, right?
The waha waha.
The Eevee Dokimura. We're gonna
Oh,
get those, right?
sure. That's what they want. I think they want more of a plushie of my dog before they want anything of me.
You know, fair. I would pay more money to have hot dog
Exactly. I would too.
to
It's
have
fine.
big as a as a
I'm not
plushie.
even offended. I would too.
wait, can you show? Can you show?
Huh?
A
I
picture
would
of
Oh.
love to
bacon.
see. Yeah.
Do do I have any on my computer that I can just pop into the screen real quick?
Well, because the other thing that kind of led me to think is that because a lot of VTubers have sort of like their own lore, sometimes they have like a little pet or
Oh
like a
yeah,
Oh, like
representation
a
of
mascot.
cat. Yeah, yeah. Because the one that I really liked is Porcelain Maid's like chat little
Mm-hmm.
thing, and then they're very artistic and they encourage like artistic creativity a lot, and then so their community makes a lot of I guess their own design for the I think it's the blockheads or the blockhead. And then I was like, oh, that's so cool because now you really are a part of the community, right? Like you have your own design, and then so does everyone else. You can still be the same but different, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
and still be yourself. And again, it's just like so much good that can come from this. And I'm just like really I get
Can I
kind of
have
sad sometimes.
can I have a bacon sona, Evie?
Oh, it's a really big picture. Hold up. Why is it so big? Oh my god, why did it come out so big?
I think
Oh no, I'm moving myself. Wait. I'm gonna put myself over here and get this photo. Why is it so big?
so. The same thing happened to another VTuber, and then somebody told them that I think it was like F3 or F4. If you're using V2 Studio, I don't know if you are.
She's
Oh,
using OBS.
Oh, okay, yeah,
goodness.
that's different.
There we go.
Bacon.
So, okay, I totally understand your community now, and yes,
Oh yeah, that's him right there.
He's gonna
And
go hard
more
on the jugular one of these days. Too
oh,
hard.
unfortunately he does. I'm surprised I'm still here, but it is what it is. Okay, he can go away now.
Wait, bring it
Oh,
back.
so have
oh.
you guys ever considered
Damn it.
having your own um mascot? VTuber
He is
mascot.
actually my mascot.
Well, look, did you have him like in a drawing
I
format?
do. I would have to find that too, but it does exist.
Yeah. See, if people want to see, they have to tune into your streams now.
Exactly.
There you go. Okay, so you do have one. Rico, do you have one as well?
I don't, not really, because of how like I kind of set myself up. Like I said before, I'm kind of like that bridge between the VTubing community and IRL, where like a lot of the time I'm asking people, hey, VTube is cool and all, and I love it, but don't forget to touch grass. However,
Oh, yeah.
I have gotten my wife involved, Annika, um, to be part of my VTubing shenanigans. And like initially she wasn't she just got a character concept just to appease me, but next thing you know she's an actual VTuber now.
I was like,
Oh,
wait, she'll be
wait,
tuber
that
now.
actually happened with
Perfect.
my best friend.
Oh yeah, that's right, she's coming on. She's gonna be Diddy soon.
Yeah, one of my best friends got because I actually also used to be part of Irium as well
Mhm.
back when it first started, and then I have a friend that is actually set to debut soon
Oh,
for them too.
nice.
but
See,
yeah,
again,
back
like we're creating such a great community. Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead,
but
Rico.
back to the whole mascot thing. The thing
Mhm.
is, she based her design off of the hyrax, the rock hyrax from South Africa, because her family originally comes from South Africa,
Mhm.
and so we're like, I don't have a mascot, but I'm pretty sure she does with the rock hyrax. Do you know what a rock hyrax is?
No.
Mm.
Wait.
Hang on,
Is
hang
it
on.
is it HY? Is it that one?
Hyrax.
Oh my.
Yep.
Wait, I don't know. I don't think I'm not gonna try to show. So you guys can Google it. But they're so cute. Oh my god! What? Is it a fluffy dog slash rat looking thing? I
They're
love
not.
it.
Here's the thing. They're not even rodents. They're actually related to elephants.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't see it.
Yay, biology.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Evolution is weird that way. It's funky. Like here, I'll post. I'll post something on my screen.
Okay, yeah.
Just because I happen to have the image. If I can find it, you're here somewhere. Ah, there you are. There you go.
Oh,
There are those furry potatoes.
oh yes, it is like a potato.
Yep. And so I think this is essentially Annika's mascot, and I think, and by extension, mine. I guess if we really want to go that route, I digress.
You're like
But
it's mine now.
I guess we
Yes,
share
yes.
it. I don't know.
I
But
agree.
yeah.
I second that. Yeah, that's so cool. You know, again, there is because I was gonna ask. I was like, oh, how did you guys, or I guess for Evie, like, how did you choose to be a witch slash? Sorry, I forgot what the other part.
The dog.
A dog. I was like, wait, I see the
Which
years,
what?
but like which, like, so like, how did you decide to become a witch dog?
That one was kind of a play on words for a what was it? Very recently I had found out that apparently the Philippines does have its own dog breed.
Oh,
That was
really?
not just a street dog. And the translation for the name is actually witch dog.
Oh, but they're so cute though.
Yeah,
They.
Skal?
It's not the Askal.
What does that call me?
Askal's like a street dog.
Mud dog.
Oh, I see. Oh, I see.
But if you look up the Philippine forest dog
Oh, okay.
is actually our actual dog breed. And it's often called a witch dog as well.
Why?
There's a reason for it. I'm trying to remember why. Oh, it's this is gonna get a little bit of a little slightly dark. They there is a myth of these dogs where it's if you were to hurt one, it would mean you were cursed.
Oh, okay. So they will
And then
curse you if you hurt them. Okay,
mhm,
okay.
but if you were to essentially, because I don't know which words I can say, so I'm just going to say this one. If you were to essentially unalive one, it would put a curse on your entire family for generations.
Okay. Well, that is a
Mhm.
great way to ensure that we are taking care of our animals.
Yes.
Yeah. And well, in Mexico we have that the dogs, um, they're sort of like your guardians, right? In the
Mhm.
afterlife when you die, kind of like in the movie Coco.
Yeah.
Actually,
That are also
uh,
mutts, right? If I'm not mistaken. Or is there...
no, I think just dogs in general. But
uh,
we do have one that is it's supposed to be like a Mexican dog. It's like the hairless one.
Oh,
Forgot what it's
yeah.
called. Yeah. I'm not as familiar with that one. I was gonna show you a painting, but so my dog actually passed away earlier this year,
Aw.
oh,
and I used that sort of like myth because that thing came to be like not that long ago. So it's not like not a real thing, right? From like our
Mm.
ancestors or whatever. But I painted him as a alebrije, kind of like in the movie Coco, as a
oh.
way for me to sort of like to help me with my grief of like losing my dog. And I'm like, but sometimes these things that are very common like have like a meaning or a reason to why they started for that. But they are such a cute dog. Well, yeah, that's so cool. Um, so I could go on, but I do realize it's not now. And Evie, you mentioned earlier that you had a long stream, and Rico, I don't know if this was your day off or if you actually did work today. So I don't want to take too much of your time. But
Oh,
thank
I
you
totally had a
so
day
much.
off.
All right.
So thank you so much for coming here. And just so you know, I will be bothering you guys again and be like, hey, we should do another collab soon. Um, because I really want to like I guess encourage everyone uh to at least check out what VTubers are, right? Or
Hmm.
like to have some sort of understanding that this is a community that is uh for the most part, a very, very good, positive community. Because I haven't encountered, I don't know if you guys have encountered, uh, sort of like communities that are not very supportive, not very great, especially like to newcomers. I think I've been rather lucky in that sense, I guess.
Hmm.
But there are a lot of like fandoms that don't have such great communities.
Yeah, no, I completely understand. I make it like a very strong point with my community that like if you can't act right, you shouldn't be here. This
Mhm,
is
mhm.
not the place for you to act like a mess or anything like that.
To test out
Like,
boundaries, yeah.
mhm.
Mhm.
Like I'll put down my boundaries and I hope that other people in my community will put down their boundaries as well and I would hope that everyone would like, you know, appreciate it, respect it, and if you can't, the door's right there. That's how I
Right.
am.
I'm like exactly, because again, a lot of like the streamers that I follow, they're like, "Why are you here if you don't like me or you don't like my content?" And I
Yeah.
was like, "Exactly, like just go somewhere else."
That's what I did. I was like, I'm not going to entertain it. So
Yeah, yeah.
you can just see yourself out. It's perfectly fine. It's not going to be, it's no skin off my back if I lose one person.
Right, right. Um, what about you, Rico? Any not so great experiences with communities?
um, I'd say, I, at least for my community, it's pretty small. But for the most part, we've been, I've always established early on that, hey, uh, just because just because I care about you doesn't mean just because I take care of you, that doesn't mean I'm going to take your shit.
Mhm,
Essentially,
mhm.
and I've always laid that down of like, hey, there are some things as a nurse, even though, like, I build myself as a nurse, a nurse educator and a nurse in real life. Sometimes I get those odd questions like, oh, this, if I have this and this happening, what should I do? I'm like, I'm not your nurse, bro. you got This is your
You gotta
doctor.
talk.
Go to urgent care. I can't do this.
I'm sorry, you're giving me like war flashbacks to every single day of work. The amount of people I get that are like, I have this problem. I need to see a nurse or a psych right now. I was like, they're on lunch, but
Why are
I
you
need to
telling me
see them
this?
right now. If it's that important, you should go to urgent care.
Pretty much.
Like,
And don't get me wrong, like I'm more than happy to educate about, like, if it's something they know about or they want to know more about, then yes, I'll definitely take the time out and teach them about what they want to know, what they need to know. Um, but if it's, they're trying to get themselves diagnosed and such, I'm like, I don't play that game.
Mhm,
Part of
mhm.
the reason why, I am a VTuber is because, um, even though I bill myself as an IRL nurse, is because, you know any any jerk can call up the state board and be like, oh yeah, so and so is doing this, that, and that at work. I'm like, no, I don't need that kind of trouble
yeah,
on
the
my end.
medical field is wild. You gotta be
Yeah.
careful.
Yeah, I mean that was my concern as well, and I was like, how do you do this? When I initially started, so then I decided that research. is take too long and kind of boring. So I just started asking people, and I was like, "Hey, you want to do a collaboration?" And I interview you about your experience, and that's how you learn a lot of stuff. But that's when a lot of like therapists who are also like either streamers or they have a social media, and they sort of like share part of their life through that. I'm like, how do you, because when I was in school they were like, they were like, social media is the devil, like do not go there. And I was like, but my friends and my family are there, like I like it. Why wouldn't I be there
Yeah,
as well? Right.
therein lies like the culture clash. I guess that's
Mhm.
at least what I at least my experience as a clinician is that we're not my nursing instructors are amazing. I love them.
Mm-hmm.
They were great, very compassionate, very knowledgeable. I owe a lot of how I think now as a nurse, as a clinician, to them.
Mm-hmm.
Were they ever savvy with technology and social media? Absolutely not. So so for me, at least what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make healthcare accessible,
Mm-hmm.
because it is, let's be real, sometimes it's not. There's so
Mm-hmm.
much gatekeeping.
Oh,
Yes.
100%.
And not just in healthcare, but like even within like our little communities, we're always trying to gatekeep um someone else from knowing, and even then there's always the obfuscation as well.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
um so it's like, why do we want to make this harder on each other?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody deserves to, if they want to be involved, they can get involved. Everybody was there at the beginning once. Let's not make it harder for the people who come after.
It yes, and I think sometimes it becomes a, but I had to do it, so you should do it, and I'm not gonna make try to make it easier for you, right? Which is not a very kind thing to do in general. But uh again, I lost my train of thought. No. Um because again, something similar in the mental health field, where it's like, well, I don't want to share like my secrets or how I did X, Y, and Z unless you pay for it, right? And like, in order to be a mental health provider, you have to go to a lot of school, and school is usually expensive. And if you want to do like something more specialized, then it means more training, more school, which means you are really in debt if you didn't grow up with, you know, uh generational wealth. um and so we have to pay, we also have to pay bills, right? So then the cost of talking for 1 hour to, or 50 minutes really, to a professional, it just keeps going up. And then so people are like, well, I can't afford it, so I'm never gonna do it. Or like, there's people like whole communities that are not even aware of like the basics, right? Of
Mhm.
like having fun, doing self-care, like, teaching kids how to communicate, how to like identify emotions, because we grew up in a specific way, and I cannot teach you what I don't really know or never have experience, right?
Mhm.
And again, like, we the reason why I really like collaborating with people and showing my community, oh look, cool, you can go, like, I don't stream very often, but they do, or they know something I don't know of, like whether it's a fandom or something in psychology or like a different field, because I'm like, I can't know everything. And even if I were to say, quote unquote, I'm an expert on this, there might still be someone else that might know more or might
Mhm.
have more experience, right? So I'm always kind of like on the lookout for, be like, hey, you want to collaborate? Let's collaborate, and I can show you to my community, or come and share your stuff in my community, so people are aware that these things are like more accessible than we believed, right? um because sometimes it takes is for me to say, hey, I really would like to learn how to do VTuber stuff, and I'm pretty sure people would be like, I can teach you. Or it's not, it's easy. You just do this, this, and this. And I will immediately forget. But like, sometimes it's just about reaching out and saying, hey, can you teach me? Or like, how did you do it? Right. And
Mhm.
more often than not, I will say people will be willing to talk about it, especially if it's something that they're passionate about. I found
Mhm.
out. Because you asked me about something. I feel like with my ADHD, I feel like you just like click like a button in me when you touch something that I'm very passionate about, and I just start talking, and I won't stop unless you stop me. But I feel like a lot of people are, because there's a reason why we're so passionate about. So if you want to know more about it, I will teach you. Like I will tell you everything I know about that. I wanted to share this thing that got put in the comments earlier, because I think it was such a great uh, a quote. Its communities are for growth and a safe space with those of a like mind, so then you can be yourself. And I think we don't have enough of that. We don't have enough communities. I think for the most part, in the US especially, there's more of a look out for yourself kind of thing
Yeah.
going on, and is not always a self. There has to be a balance, right? Part of it is you do have to focus on you, but you also have to have a community that's there to support you, and you are there to support them, right? Because otherwise we can only go so far,
Mhm.
or
Yeah.
we are going to really burn out a lot faster than we should. So there are great communities out there. Unfortunately, there are also toxic communities. But the one thing that I forgot to mention too is that earlier when we were talking about like not being as concerned with people's feedback, and you just doing the content that you wanted to create and have fun with it, is a great way for people, especially the younger generations, to understand that it's not all about how big you are on social media, right? Because I think because it's now becoming real jobs for people,
Hmm.
and there's this sort of like idea that it's really easy and I can just do it. And a lot of people try, uh, and it's a difficult road. Not everyone can do it, right? It takes a lot of like
Hmm.
work and luck as well, for a lot of that to happen. um, but there is people who are supportive, and even if you don't make it to be as famous as so and so, or to have as much money, or make it a career, there's still people who are passionate about the same things, people who are willing to help do
Mhm.
that. And I think that in the long run is a lot um, better than just this sort of like explosion of growth.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, and for me, I think about it. Um, this month would actually be like like the 1 year since I actually started VTubing. In all honesty, and I never
Wait,
thought.
1 year?
Yeah,
What? I thought
yeah,
you were doing it for like forever.
no,
Oh,
literally just
I
this past year.
I
It'd
just
be
made that up then in my head. I don't know.
yeah, so yeah, I posted I first started as a VTuber posting scripted shorts
Mhm.
on YouTube and TikTok, and that and and I just kind of went from there. And now, like, as a VTuber, it's been a hell of a ride in the past year, but yeah, it's something. I've been very grateful to have become a VTuber. And like Runia said in the comments too, like, part of it was also like, I became a VTuber to make friends as well. And I'm very lucky to have met the people in my life, like,
Mhm, mhm.
Evie here. Like,
Hi.
I'm very fortunate to have met Evie. We're
Mhm.
friends, and she's like she's essentially my little sister now.
Aw,
You
Yeah.
have been adopted now.
I have. And I couldn't ask for a better big brother.
Aw.
But
But
yeah, we're so for me,
What if
it's
she too sees you as a younger brother? Wouldn't that be weird?
as a younger brother. Who,
Yeah,
me?
because yeah. So you see her as a little sister, but what
Uh-huh.
if she sees you as a little brother?
Very unlikely, because I give I
Big brother
radiate that.
vibe.
Yeah, I radiate that kuya energy.
especially
um
every time I fall.
Oh, Okay, fair enough.
I was, I think one of our mutual friends called me, I think by accident, like, but I think it was I'm pretty sure it was a joke, but they called me middle aged. I'm like, damn, not that old.
Well, oh, you see, I got called old by my friend as well, just like
Uh,
2 days
And it
ago.
makes you feel better. My chat called me a hag once.
I have come to the conclusion that I am a
Hag
hag.
life, baby.
Yeah, I
But
was like, I
apparently
think.
I'm not the age yet. Is what I've been told.
No,
What
you're
is
not.
hag age?
Apparently they said anything over 30.
Oh, I am a hag then. Well, it's fine. I'm a hag.
Hag
But
night.
but you see, my friend, my best friend, she said like, you have the same hobbies as my dad, and look how old he is. Because we were both geeking out about tea, and I was like, but you don't understand.
Look,
Um,
look.
yeah, dude, yeah, because I was like, you don't understand. Look at these teapots. They're better. That's why they're so expensive.
I'll say me
Uh,
right now that I can geek out about Digimon to my chat.
it's just,
I was like, I had no one to talk about this to except for
Have
one
I told
person.
you about my French press obsession?
wait, do you have one?
Yes, I do have a French press,
Ooh.
and I grind my own beans.
Oh no. Are you able to like actually like go out and enjoy coffee, or you like no, I can't. Like now like you can't really find places
On my
that
days
give you
off, I
coffee.
try to. I want to make actual good use of my French press. Most of the time, I don't get to.
Oh, it's a so I have you can only see sort of like the corner of it, but the whole place is full of like tea stuff. And I drink the tea, and so I like books, right? And this is sort of like the example. But I've come to realize that buying books slash collecting them and reading them are two different hobbies, which I do have, but I don't always do them at the same time. So I have a lot of books I haven't read. And the same thing with tea. I just go and buy like really good tea, and I have like stacks and stacks of tea. And then every time I go out with like my sibling, which I got into like drinking tea, he complains about how I buy so much tea. But he drinks it all. He drinks all my tea. I don't know why he complains. He never really has to buy tea because I always have tea. And it's good tea. But anyway, back on topic.
Yeah.
Uh, what were we talking about? Before I went on
Um,
my rant about tea.
it's okay. Um, yeah, I was mentioning how VTubing gave me, you know, gave me opportunities of not just of not just being an educator and entertainer, but of friendships as well, of like building those relationships, both with fellow VTubers and people just in other people's communities. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very grateful for you know the the 1 year since I started VTubing a year ago, how you know how much I've experienced, and I'll always look
Mm-hmm.
forward to more. Um, but I guess part of it is also like if anybody wants to get into VTubing, they also can't put they also shouldn't they need to have set goals in mind, I guess, and
Mm.
and understand that you're not going to be you're not going to be you know famous or viral overnight. Stuff like this takes time, it takes effort, it takes like you said, there's like some luck, it takes work. um but part of it is enjoying the journey, and if you don't enjoy the journey, what's the point of doing any of this?
Yeah, and I mean, like again, it becomes a great space for us to test out things, right? Like if you're kind of shy about setting boundaries, but now you have like a model, and you are able to like find that courage and do it with with the chat, then it becomes easier for you to do it IRL, right? And sort of like vice versa. And again, if we are watching you and you're consistently doing it, then we eventually get to the point where we're like, hey, maybe I should also. do it, right? Like I also have similar problems, and if you were able to solve it this way, maybe I should give it a try, a kind of thing. So again, there's so much that we can learn from each other if we just sort of like have an open mind about, entering different fandoms, trying different things. So one of the things that I wanted to also bring up, I said like 20 minutes ago we were going to end, and here I am. Um, but somebody on chat said that because we were like, oh, we get called old and hags, but somebody they get called mom on stream sometimes, and then they just sort of like move on from that. But that reminded me though that at one point I needed to sort of like have a bit more of the mom vibe in my life, and I found out that there's a specific VTuber that just has that vibe like just naturally. And for about 2 weeks I would just watch all of their streams and all of their like vods and like shorts, and then that made me feel better, because at that time my own mom couldn't be like here where I needed it.
Aw.
And sometimes like there is a lot of like when I'm working with clients, sometimes I have to let them know, hey, even as much as you would like your parent to be able to say I'm sorry, or to be able to say here, I'm here for you, or do whatever, sometimes they are not able to do that because they're no longer with us, or because they are going through their own struggles, and changing is not something that they're considering, right? So we kind of have to fill that gap, and sometimes it can be as easy as just listening to a VTuber who just randomly says hi sweetie, or hi lovely, whatever it is, and just that can make us feel a little bit better. But Rico, you did have a good point uh earlier, saying that it's great that you're here, and then you're enjoying like me playing games and stuff and being in the virtual world, but we also have to go outside, right? Making friends online is fantastic, but we also need IRL friends. We also need to be able to go outside and do all things if we're able to. Not everyone is able to do so, but if you are able to, it is kind of like essential part. Like we do need to have those people that can be there physically for
Mhm.
us, right? Like so for those 2 weeks I was like, well, my mom is like in Mexico and she can't be here, so this VTuber is gonna fill in for a little bit, or whatever it is. And sometimes you get I don't know if you guys have heard of like that one, I think it's like a dad who's like got really big on TikTok because their daughter let them know that a lot of people didn't have a dad that would teach them like the basic things that usually dads are the ones teaching kids, like how to change a tire, how to change oil, and things like that.
Mhm.
And a lot of people are like tuning in because hey, like I didn't know either. And sometimes my dad might not have known either, so now we know, right? So again, it's like having that community and asking and being able to feel safe enough to say, hey, anybody know how to X, Y, and Z, or like can anybody give me a clue or an idea or whatever. Sometimes that's what we need. And uh we can do it online, but we also kind of need to be able to do it in real life.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, that's why I was very happy and very grateful I was able to see Evie IRL over at Anime Expo.
Hee hee.
Oh, right. Okay. So another reason why like it fan or geeky events are so needed in any community, I feel like, because that's the one time that you get to talk to other people, geek out about the same things, everyone else feels the same. And like the one example that I always give about how powerful it can be to go to a convention is one time we were in Hall H for the San Diego Comic Con, and I was with friends because they wanted to watch a panel with the cast of Supernatural. I have not seen a single episode of Supernatural, but I'm in the internet, so I knew enough about the characters and how they interacted, and they're like just really great friends in person. So their panels are always fantastic. But that year that I was there, they actually brought the band Kansas to sing the song or to play the song, and everyone like just got up for their seats and started yelling, including me. And I'm like, I'm not even a fan, but this is so great. Like, it was such a fantastic experience to have so many people be so excited about one particular thing happening. And then I'm like, and that's what conventions are, right? So if you've never had an opportunity to meet other people who are fans of like the same things, that's just really sad. And I hope
Yeah.
everybody does eventually get to go to a convention, or like, have a game shop or something where they are able to meet with people who enjoy the same things that they do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That being said, if people do want to find other communities or other streamers that stream more often, or check out the content that you guys create because they are huge fans of Pokemon, or they want to know more about health, or oh wait, what's the other thing? You said you do karaoke. Karaoke.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to do karaoke now. But anyway, where can people find you?
Oh, uh, Evie, you want to give them, tell them where to find you?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So you guys can find me on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram actually. All of it is Evie Ascal. My I would also say TikTok, but I'm kind of fighting TikTok right now about changing my username.
Oh,
So that one might you'll have to link to one of the other ones to find that one. But yeah, if you want the cosplay content, I do it on Instagram. Any of my streaming content will obviously be on Twitch and YouTube, plus any future videos I will be making, such as covers, long form videos, and whatnot. And then TikTok is if you guys want to see my funny little animations. Those are gonna be the best place. And then Twitter is if you just want to know what goes on in this brain up here, which is not a lot.
I know it
But
goes
yeah.
up there.
Oh, for sure. It's a very like one track mind for the most part.
Yeah, a good 80% of it is hit mic.
Right now it's 50-50 with Digimon.
Oh, okay.
yeah, like I'm making
Maybe a
room. I'm
month
making
ago
room.
was hit mic.
It's 50-50 right now.
Okay, fair point.
And for you, Rico?
Yeah, so you can find me, like I mentioned before, you can find me on Twitch, on YouTube, on Irium. I got a whole link tree. Like, here's my QR code there on my screen if y'all are interested. But
Oh, that's smart. I
yeah,
know, right?
but yeah, I'm on social medias too, Twitter, TikTok, Blue Sky. Um, Today actually, I actually released on like almost all my platforms a PSA about uh, what was it uh, about suicide prevention and
Oh,
how
okay, okay.
yeah, and it's a 1 minute short, but I think it kind of gives people like some initial steps of like how to how to be a better how to be a better community, how to be a better h- how to be, I won't say a better person, how to be uh how to care for someone who's
Mm,
uh who struggles with that. And I tend to do that like between all of my platforms.
mhm,
So
mhm, mhm.
um, it's something, like I said, it's something I'm quite passionate about because as much as it is fun to escape into the world of VTubers or anime, manga,
Mm-hmm.
music, video games, at the same time we we also have a lot of things we need to face up front.
Mm-hmm.
We need to face in our
Mhm.
real life, and I think if I can be someone that can give a friendly face and help you walk through the difficulties you face in your life alongside that in this community, in this sphere, then I would like to be that person
Mm-hmm.
because everybody deserves to be heard and cared for.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, yeah, and like I mean, there's like people like me who are anxious a little bit and kind of socially awkward at times. So I'm like, what do I say? What do I do? So like even if it's like a 1 minute thing, sometimes we can get a whole lot of it because now I know what questions to ask, or now I know how to phrase a certain something. Because a lot of things, like whether I'm on a phone call or I'm like starting a stream, I stole from people. I am gonna say that. I'm like, my brain communicates better in pictures. So with when I'm in therapy, I do paint and I'm like, so here's the circle and this is what it means, and then it connects to over here, and that's what I'm talking about. That
Mhm.
is how I explain a lot of things to my clients. So verbalizing certain things, it's a little bit difficult sometimes. So I'm like, wait, I like how that person said that. Oh, I like how they're saying that. So then I take a lot of that and it makes it like easier, because now I
Mhm.
have an idea of things that I could say. So that's great. That's fantastic. um all right. Well, once again, for real this time, uh, thank you so much for joining me today. And like I said, I will be reaching out so we can hang out again and have another talk
Yes.
about whatever. And
Oh, it was great.
This was a lot
yeah,
of fun, yeah.
I was a little bit worried because I was like, I really didn't prepare anything. I was just because Rico was like, "What are we talking about?" And I'm like, stuff. Like I don't know.
There's a whole
What you guys
category on Twitch that just does that. It's just just chatting.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't. We're just talking about what I don't know. We'll think of something. It's fine. But yeah, I had a lot of fun, and we had a lot of a few people in the chat like talking. So that was fantastic, and viewing. So hopefully this gets a lot of people excited. To learn a little bit more about VTubers and being kind in general, and they check you guys out on your socials and on your streams. Uh, so I will also say that w- because community is something that I felt was really important, I wanted to create a safe space for my community as well. So then I created Psychology for Geeks, so we could do that. And right now we have a growing community on our Discord, and this weekend we are having a fundraiser that is a Marvel Rivals tournament, and the like all the money raised will essentially go back to the community in some way or another, because I just want to be able to have a lot more resources available, a lot more things. And unfortunately we live in a society where a lot of that costs money, and oh my god, I don't have anybody. So
Yeah,
if you guys can help
that's
out, that's great.
amazing.
Yeah, so definitely check that out if you're not really interested in like Marvel uh like games or anything like that. We are going to be doing a few things like before the matches, and you can still donate. There's plenty of ways that you can sort of like help us out, even if you cannot do so financially. Like you can share our content, become part of our community, go to our in-person events. I We are doing because we do self-care workshops,
Mhm.
is what I call them. And then so we do a little bit different, like learn how to decorate cupcakes, or like make your own sugar scrub, or like paint a certain something. And lately I've found a few artists that are like so willing to do like Van Gogh and like Bob Ross and all the things I've always wanted to do. So I was like, yeah. And then I put up a sign at the booth that I was running today, and a lot of people in the community were so excited for it. And I'm like, me, oh, these are my people. And I was like, me too. I like Van Gogh too. Let's learn how to paint. So like, yeah, come and like geek out with us. Like find a way to do it. If you don't live near us, we have an online community for you. If online thing is not really your thing, you're looking for something more in person, I'm sure there's other events that are going on in your community. Libraries also usually do a lot of like really cool things for like craft groups, and they have like interesting events for kids and adults. So do quite a bit of Google search and you'll find your community as well. Or just kind of like stop by your comic book shop and be like, hey, what do you guys do here? When did you do X, Y, and Z? And you'll find out. But it's important for all of us to have that community, to someone to geek out with, right? Because then we can be like, oh, they're like me for real, and they understand what I'm trying to say. So that's great. So definitely follow us, subscribe, all that stuff. And we hope to see you guys soon. Thank you so much for joining us
Thank you.
today. And
Thanks for having us.
yeah, so don't forget to reframe and re enchant your mind, and we will see you whenever I stream next. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, chat.
Bye bye.